NBC News congressional correspondent Julie Tsirkin is back with us this morning with the latest. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. So what more can you tell us about Trump's endorsement of Congressman Jim Jordan, and explain why the former president, like I mentioned, is considering heading to Washington next week?
Yeah, hey, Savannah, good morning. Well, the former president's endorsement of Jim Jordan doesn't come as a huge surprise, considering what an ally Jordan has been for the former president and what a thorn he has been for the current president, Joe Biden. Jordan chairs the Judiciary Committee, the Weaponization Subcommittee. He's been a key player in the impeachment inquiry that Speaker McCarthy had launched into the current president. And Jordan's always had the former president's back. You'll remember during the longest shutdown in 2019, 34 days, Jordan helped orchestrate and push that in Congress. And he couldn't tell Ali, our colleague, that he wouldn't have done what McCarthy had done to keep the government open. He said he's not going to work with Democrats. He's going to unite the conference, and he's going to look to the former president, of course, who can potentially, according to our sources, come to the Capitol on Tuesday, as early as Tuesday, to unify the conference around Jordan for that support as well. The question is, will that work for moderates? But here's what Jordan had to say in terms of working across the aisle. Watch.
I wouldn't go to Democrats to get votes because they're going to want something, they're going to want something. You'd have to do that within the Republican conference. And so I do think I'm the guy, though, that can unify the conference. Whether we can unify on that issue, we would see. But unify the conference and then also take the message to the American people about what we're doing to help them.
So you heard Jordan there. He was talking about a motion to vacate. Some Republicans want to reform those rules after what happened to McCarthy, where any one member could bring that up. Jordan said he's not so keen on that idea unless the majority of his conference wants that.
So let's talk a little bit more about what we are hearing from Jim Jordan and really what we're hearing in terms of how the party is feeling about it. I mean, are people coalescing around him? Does it seem to be like it's headed in that direction?
Well, that's the big question, because in addition to Jordan, we have Steve Scalise, who's a member of leadership, who has also jumped into the fold. I'm told, according to sources, that both Jordan and Scalise have been talking to different key factions of the Republican conference. They've been trying to solicit those votes. Jordan even joked to our colleague that he's been losing his voice because he's trying to get everyone really to come around him, and Scalise is trying to do the same on his side. There's also a few other candidates who are considering jumping in. For example, Kevin Hern, who is the chair of the Republican Study Committee. But remember, the magic number here is 217. When they want to become speaker, they have to get those votes locked in. The key is, according to McCarthy, who made this message clear last week when he was talking to his colleagues, they don't want that same embarrassment that they faced when he tried to become speaker. Remember those 15 rounds of votes on the floor? They want to try to get it done behind closed doors. That's kind of the key with the former president coming, to see if he can unify that process. The question is, though, will it get done? Will it get done even as soon as next Wednesday? That's really determined to be seen, because there is such a slim majority, and moderates and vulnerable members are not so hot on Jordan, particularly with that Trump endorsement. But Jordan has told them behind closed doors that he's not going to put them in those tough positions.
Absolutely. Julie, also, let's just talk about next week and what we're going to see. So the election of a new speaker will get underway in earnest. Give us a preview of what takes place in the House. What will we see? How does this work?
Yeah, exactly. So they're basically going to come back into town as early as Monday evening. They're going to have some of those closed conference meetings. You're seeing that calendar on your screen. October 10th, Tuesday. That's when they're going to have that candidate forum behind closed doors. They're going to basically hear from all the candidates, including Jordan and Scalise, maybe some others who want to run for speaker. They're going to hear their pitch out, and then they're going to coalesce and try and make a decision. That can happen as soon as Wednesday. That House Republican speaker election that you're seeing, that's going to happen behind closed doors. That doesn't mean that automatically triggers that process for a full House vote on the floor, where, again, that 217 is needed. And what we saw last time, where it took many ballots, remember, McCarthy was the favored candidate behind closed doors. When he went onto the floor, that became a different problem for him. The problem now is, how long is this going to drag on? Because remember, there's a key government funding deadline coming up mid-November. 40 days seems like a long time away, but really it's a lot of work they have to get done with passing those spending bills. There's also the key question of Ukraine aid, border security proposals that conservatives want as well. And all of this can't happen until there's a speaker in the House. The House is effectively frozen. So that's why this race is so important.
All right, Julie Tsirkin up early and on this for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.